My name is Erik, and I'm with the Canadian Federation of the Blind of Ontario. We have a lot of work to do today. We're really excited about what's coming up, and I'll be talking about that in a minute. But the first thing I'd like to do is introduce you to some people who've come a long way with me.
Hi, again, my name is Maggie Bray. Thank you so much, everybody, for having me here. Awesome, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to just tell you a little bit about myself, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about basically what being a Federation member means to me, okay? When I was 5, I was in Sunday school, and I learned a song, and I'm sure you all know what song it is, This Little Light of Mine, and in that song, there's a verse where you put your finger up, hopefully not quite the wrong finger in Sunday school, that could be a different story. So you put your hand in a fist, and you put your finger out like a light, and then you put your other hand and you put it over, and then you're supposed to say, hide it under a bushel, and then what's the response?
I'm gonna let it
No. Hide it under a bushel, no is the response, right? Because no is the response, and you have to take your hand away violently from your finger, so your finger shines out like a light. And so it's hide it under a bushel?
No.
Absolutely. Hide under a bushel, no. But you know what? Honestly, that's what I learned all my life. Not to hide it under a bushel, right? And to just be who I am, and to be capable and to do everything everybody else can do if I can, if I'm interested to do it. But unfortunately, when you get out of your family, there's lots of bushels out there, isn't there? You go to get a job and everybody says, oh, you're blind? Let me show you your bushel basket. Well, look at that, put it over your head. And you know what I found out? I found out when I joined here, you guys are a bunch of baloney busted bushel breakers. Hopefully, one of the things that I'm trying to do to break those bushels a little bit is doing some abstract art to hopefully inspire some people and stuff like that. This is what I do for my life, like my vocation. So so thank you for letting me yammer.
My name is Kerry, and thank you for the welcome, everybody here in BC. Canada is a big place and so far away in Ontario, but I'm glad we got to come here to see. After I lost my ability to see visually, like colors and art, I moved sort of onto writing. So I've had a blog for 4 years, and I'm a freelance writer. And but really, my first ally, blind ally, and support growing up was my brother to my left here, 3 years younger. In 1998, in the summer, I was 14. I was about to go to high school, and my mobility instructor sat me down and said, I think you're ready for a guide dog. I think it would be good for you in high school. And so I went to Quebec, one of the first times I was ever away from my home and my family, my brother. I was so nervous, and I couldn't really speak French, and I didn't really feel confident so much. My instructor was the one who believed in me, but there I met a few people, and Erik was one of them. And I was 14 and he was 16, and he kind of made me less afraid and made me feel less alone there. So jump 20 years, almost 20 years in the future, when he wanted to start the Ontario chapter of the Canadian Federation of the Blind, which I wasn't that familiar with at the time. I could feel his passion for that, and I saw a friend who needed support, and so I was there, and I'm proud to be the secretary now for Ontario. And I hope to use my writing and my ability to express myself through words to have a voice and not feel so unheard and hidden and small. And activism is part of that, and I'm hoping to help any way I can here. So, thank you.
Hi, so my name is Brian Kijewski, as Kerry mentioned here, and I'm her younger brother. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about my life growing up. I was born blind, and just wanted to kind of discuss a few issues that are very important to me that I hope to pursue in the future with the CFB. I was integrated into public school from the very beginning. Our mom is amazing. She advocated for us from the very beginning, fought with the school boards to make sure that they would have aids available to help us to learn Braille. So, and mainly so we could fit in with everyone else. We weren't sent off to a separate school. We were integrated in with everyone else. And that experience for me changed my life. I don't know how things would be today. I'm sure I would have figured it out either way, but it allowed me to feel welcome. I was fortunate, and I'm very appreciative of the many friends I met growing up. And I would say 90% of them I am still good friends with today, like 20 years later. When I hang out with them, I never feel separate. I don't feel like I'm the blind person amongst all these other people who can see. I just feel like I fit in, and it's such a great feeling. Now, the only drawback to that, I guess, is that I only really had a couple great friends growing up who were blind. Erik over there, obviously, and another friend, but that's one of the hopes I have with the CFB. And when Erik brought it up last year, just like my sister Kerry, I jumped on it right away and said, this is something I need to get behind. I need to meet more people who can't see, like myself, because either way, you're gonna get a different perspective, and it's nice to have both. I love having all these sighted friends I have, and I feel totally comfortable around them and welcome, but it's also great to have this core group. Now, I just wanted to talk about a couple other things. So, Braille is also a very important thing for me. With Braille, I'm able to use my sense of touch, which sometimes I feel I don't use as much or enough. So that's a huge thing, and I really hope to work with that in the future with the CFB and help with blind people learning Braille and making sure it's essential. Now, I just wanted to talk about college quickly. I applied for school back in 2006, and it was very difficult because I'm obsessed with music. I love recording music, playing instruments, so I wanted to go into an audio engineering program. And back in those days, which was 10 years ago, but 12 years ago seems like a long time ago, but I was pretty much, there was no way. They said Pro Tools is the default software we use. It's inaccessible. You're not going to be able to use it. And they were right. I mean, there would have been accommodations if I had stepped up for myself, but I was also younger at that point. And so I just kind of went off and did nothing. I was defeated, felt like nothing was going to happen. In 2013, I decided to look back into it now that Mac computers were much more accessible. And in 2014, I got into music industry arts at Western University Fanshawe College, I should say, back in London, Ontario. And I was thrilled to finally get into this program I had been wanting to take for over 10 years. And it was such an amazing experience. I graduated last year, and I learned so much. And having the Mac computer accessible was a huge benefit because I was able to go into the computer lab with my class. Everyone else was sighted. I could turn on VoiceOver, use my computer, and it opened up so many doors for me. So I hope to be able to use those skills in the future with the CFB. I actually produced a audio promo when we did our talk last Saturday that Kerry was talking about for Vision Quest, and produced an introduction for that with background music, and it turned out great. It gave the blind people at the symposium an audio clue to be able to find our table, and it was a great time. And I just wanted to mention one more project for school. I know we're running on time here, so I don't want to take up too much time, but I have so much to say. But there was one assignment, the final assignment, which I was very stressed about, was to take the scene from a movie, just rip the picture from the scene, and recreate all of the acting, or all of the voices, and all of the sound effects and music in the background. So you have the picture on the screen, and then you're replacing all of the audio behind it. Now, I was wondering, how the heck am I ever going to be able to do this? But it turns out I was able to rip the video from the scene and then get the actors to, or the voices I picked, to recreate the lines, and all I had to do was nudge the lines over by frame until I could hear their voice match up as close to the actor's voice on the movie as possible. And when I submitted it, he said there were a couple minor sync issues, but overall, I got an 80%, and it felt so great. The scene was from the movie Fight Club, by the way. You're curious. But it was just, I mean, I did a lot of music, and obviously I went to school for music, so that was my main interest, and I did a lot of production, recording music there, and songs and all of that. But this project in particular took me out of my comfort zone and went much better than I expected. So I just wanted to bring that up, and finally, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Erik over there. I got a guide dog as well, like both of Kerry and Erik, 3 years later, and I used it in high school, but not so well. And then I moved to Toronto, and I was very dependent. The first time I didn't even leave the house. And the second time I came back to Toronto and moved there for I was there for 5 years. I called the CNIB when I got there, actually, and requested services, and they said, yeah, we'll have someone out. We might be able to get you an instructor in 3 months. And I thought, I just moved to this big city. It's the summer. This is terrible. But with the help of Erik and his confidence, I've never met someone so confident and so get up and go. Just do it. Figure it out as you go. Don't sit there and contemplate it. Just do it. And he passed it on to me, and it's just incredible. So I would like to thank everyone here and the CFB, and looking forward to the rest of the convention.
People in Ontario are coming to me and they're telling me that the Canadian Federation of the Blind is different because we have trust and we have integrity. When we look at government programs, other charitable organizations, blind people are unfortunately vulnerable, and we're being preyed upon 5 ways from Sunday. We are doing some groundwork that will hopefully explode the CFB. And you'll hear a lot about that later on today, and I hope we can count on all of your support in growing the CFB and expanding it, not just in Ontario, but all over the country. The CFB of Ontario is right now mainly distributing a lot of information. Kerry got us that great table, and it was a huge success. We have had guest speakers at our meetings. We've had Sabina Isliato from the National Network of Equitable Library Services. We have had Elizabeth, and we're hoping to have Alex sometime at the beginning of the summer. So this is kind of a call for guest speakers. If you have a project that you're working on and you want national support, the CFB of Ontario meetings may be a good forum for you. We do promote them, and we do give people what we hope is a great platform for expanding. Organize is such an important thing this year. So many of the organizations in our network who share our philosophy are doing the same thing we did, or that we're trying to do, and we're at a critical mass where the only way to move forward is to go forward en masse and in leaps and bounds. So this year is exciting because of what the potential that we see. Next year we're going to start to see that come to fruition. So next year's convention, we should be bigger and badder than ever before. I just want to thank you guys all again for inviting us, and I hope I get to meet as many of you as possible.